Hey, just letting you know that we've had the team's expectations through for the upcoming qualifying session.
We'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on into the corners and max out down the straights?
Top speed is a key factor for this circuit. Even if you can achieve the same lap time as someone running less wing than you, chances are you'll find overtaking difficult if you have too much drag.
It's a bit disappointing, but we just need to push hard in the race and we can still come away with something.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three. Hamilton, Rosberg and Sebastian Vettel. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Hi, guess who? I've seen the team's expectations for the race, so I thought I'd pass them on and wish you luck. Take care.
Hard work, ingenuity and ambition. All things you'll find in abundance amongst the 15 million people of Shanghai over there to our southeast. And we've got plenty of that here on the grid as well. 20,000 horsepower, give or take, chomping at the bit to be unleashed for the Chinese Grand Prix. Shanghai International Circuit then, a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, tests their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and overtaking is available into turn 1 and, of course, down the kilometre-long back straight into the hairpin at turn 14. Joining me once again to take you through this race is the effervescent Anthony Davidson, and I'm very much looking forward to it getting underway. You raced here, of course, didn't you, back in your Super Aguri days in that infamous Chinese Grand Prix of 2007?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't last that long, though, unfortunately. Qualifying had gone pretty well, but my brakes failed quite early in the race, around lap 10 or 11, something like that. And of course, back in 2004, I was the very first Formula 1 driver to complete a lap of this circuit. Just thought I'd mention that for you, Crofty. You like a good stat. It's a fairly tough circuit on the brakes here, though. You know, it's that long back straight down into turn 14, and then you got turns 6 and 11. They're quite heavy as well. On top of that, managing your front tyre wear is always a challenge around here, so there's a lot to keep in mind during the Grand Prix.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves...
pits. Officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available. Considering switching to an alternate strategy. Do you want to change or stick to plan A? Confirmed. Pitting now. Felipe is in the pits. Pit window is open. The pit window is open. Okay, gap ahead is 2.2 seconds. Okay, some information on Rosberg. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow. Box. exit now. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Has come into pit. Is 1.1 seconds. To remain dry for a while. We will update you if the outlook changes. Hamilton has just taken the lead. Our gap to the car in front is 4.3 seconds. Is 6.0 seconds. Some information on Rosberg. They're speeding up again, so I expect they've fixed whatever the problem was. Has the lead. 1 seconds. There's 5 laps of fuel remaining. The gap behind us is 0.5 seconds. This is your final lap of the race. Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
Brilliant stuff from Mercedes today. That's another historic win. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Our current points leader extends their lead at the top of the championship after a very good result here today. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
I think I'm going to award it to the Williams driver. Look at where they finished compared to where they started. It's not easy to cut through the field like that in Formula 1, so it was a great effort.
On to the constructors then. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
Hi, Emma here. I had a sit-down with the executives today to talk about your progress. Long story short, they're happy. Keep it up.
Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
Here we are at the fascinating...
We're going to be logging some extra data during this session. Nothing you need to worry about, but as we have some new parts, we'll just confirm they're performing to spec.
An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top three, who are...
Guess who made the gossip columns this morning? Everyone's talking about this new rival you have. Check his stats out.
Welcome back to Sochi. We're about to be joining the action down in the pit lane as the cars get ready to embark on their qualifying runs. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
Lots of low-speed exits means the rears are in for a lot of punishment. It's all too easy to spin them up coming out of a corner too aggressively. It might look great for us as spectators, as we love to see a car driven beyond its limits, but it's not going to result in a great long-run pace.
us further back than we'd like, but don't worry about it. Just means more fun for us tomorrow.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Hamilton, Rosberg and Daniel Ricciardo. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow. Get up, we're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's...
conditions should remain dry. We will keep you informed of any changes to the weather. Gap ahead is 4.2 seconds. Some information on Ricardo. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car. Felipe in the pits. Felipe has pitted. The gap to the car in front is less than a second. Let's try and get past in the DRS zone. Approaching the pit window, you'll be on the super softs. So the gap to our teammate is 5.6 seconds. Perez is in the pits now. He's just entered the pit lane. Is now open. Verstappen has the lead. To pit in this lap, the gap to the car behind is 1.7 seconds. 0.6 seconds. Second away from the car ahead. Let's see if we can use DRS to pass him. To the car ahead is 1.4 seconds. We have 5 laps of fuel remaining. This is your final lap of the race. some information on Ricardo. It seems they fixed whatever the problem was. They're coming back up to speed. At the next race. Not our best day by any means.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Ant, what was the key to this success?
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today.
And I can see now the drivers are... So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I think I'm going to award it to the Williams driver. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Mercedes move... And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I think I'm going to award it to the Williams driver. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes move to the top of the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.